Hey y'all, welcome back. Welcome if you're new. I'm just jumping straight into this one. I've got my tips on. I've got my dehydrator and rubber base applied. I'm using LGN Pro stuff today. So I've got her Crystal Clear and Daylily hard gels. And let's see, I'm going to be using her number 4 oval gel brush as usual. And I'm going to start out by doing the thing I sometimes remember to do, sometimes don't. I'm going to get a thin clear base on every nail, and this is just something to file back to if I do a fill or if I do a complete removal. That way I know when I stop, when I'm filing off and I stop seeing color, it's time to stop filing. So yeah, I always like to leave a layer of gel on my nails. As long as it's not lifting, it stays on there. Just a nice thin layer. Protects my natural nails when I don't have anything on them, which is rare for me to go around with nothing on my nails. But, you know, it does happen sometimes. So, yeah, I'm going to do this to every nail and then give them all a cure and move on. Okay, so next step. I'm going to be using these gel polishes from Makartt. They're that set that I showed you all, I think, last video. I'm going to be using all of them except for the peachy color. And I'm going to be going in that order, like rainbow order. And I've already got my pinky nail started. So, yeah. So I'm going to be doing like a vertical ombre on each nail. Like I said, in rainbow order. And they're going to continue from nail to nail. Like the yellow from the previous nail is going to continue to this one. This is going to be yellow and pink. So the next one, the pink will continue. You know, so on down the line. So right here, I got a little of that yellow gel polish on my skin, so I'm getting it off. And, well, getting the rest of it off. And then once I'm done, I'm going to get the pink and go down the other side. And then I'm going to get the ombre brush and just kind of blend them together. I'm going to do 2 coats of each color. I cut out the second part because long video already. So, yeah, this is pretty self-explanatory. So, yeah, once I get the colors blended like I want them, I'm going to kind of blend out the bottom edge of the colors and then give them a cure. Okay, so this is what they look like after 2 coats. Very pretty. I love all these pastel colors. So I'm going to put another layer of clear on. I learned this from my last set, the St. Patrick's Day nails I'm wearing on my other hand. If you have something on there with a good thick dispersion layer, sticky layer, whatever you want to call it, that will help you blend the nude up over it. Like I'm going to do, I guess you would call it a French fade. So yeah, it helps you blend the nude out easier. And these gel polishes don't have any sticky layer at all. So this was, yeah, it would have been a lot harder to blend that nude up over them without this step. I didn't really want to add the extra thickness. I'm trying to make this as thin as I can. You can see how straight up and down my brush is and how my bristles are kind of splaying out, that I am dragging as much of that clear back off as I can. I just want it for the sticky layer. So yeah, I'm going to do this to every nail, cure it, and then I'm going to start with my nude hard gel. Okay, so I got the clear cured, and I've already started on my pinky nail with the nude blend. The way I'm doing it is I'm going to start out with just a very thin amount for my slip layer, just where I want the nude to be. I'm going to pull it about halfway up my nail, halfway down my nail, however you want to say it, and get my slip layer on, and then kind of use my brush to pull off any extra where I don't want it to be. And then here in a second, I'm going to go back in right here. I'm going to grab a small amount, not a lot. I think I'll show you on my brush here in just a second how much exactly it is. It's just yeah, just that much, just a tiny little bit. And I'm going to kind of work that down my nail. And like I said, just where I want the nude to be. I do want to apologize if y'all hear any like booms or bangs in the background. My young neighbors, I don't know, 18-year-old boy and his buddies, like to shoot. So yeah, I'm trying to record around all the bangs and booms, but it's a lot. So yeah, if any of them, there are some of them in the background, so I apologize. So once I've got that nude down to where I want it, then I'm going to take my fine liner brush and kind of just pull it down a little more. But you can see once it went on, after a second or two, the sticky layer from the clear that I put on the previous layer is already starting to kind of pull that nude down into itself, basically. It already starts the blend for you a little bit. So that's why I put that layer on. But anyway, so once I get this looking the way I want it, I'm going to give it a cure. I think I'll show you one more nail with this, and then I'll show you what I did next. Okay, so last step with the nude. This is just a step that I have found just helps that blend just a tiny bit more. It's just a very tiny amount of gel that I'm putting on, but I feel like it makes a difference. So what I'm doing here is I'm getting just a very small amount of nude on my brush, and I'm just going to go back over the nude I've already got on there, um, add just a tiny little bit more color if it needs it, and then I'm going to pull that nude gel all the way down my nail. You can't really see it over the color. It may dull them just ever so slightly, but it helps out the edge of that blend from the nude to the color. And then it also helps the blend a little bit from, in between the colors of the vertical ombre. So, yeah, it's not much gel, but I feel like it makes a difference, enough of a difference to do it. So, yeah, that's why I did this step. Okay, so I've got all that nude cured. Now I'm going to get some glitter on them. So, there's a few different ways you could do this, but this, in my mind, was the easiest way, I thought. So, I'm just getting a little scoop of that clear hard gel out on my little palette here. And then I'm going to use this glitter. It's an old A&A glitter. It's just like a fine white iridescent. I mean, any fine white iridescent glitter would work. There's a million of them out there. I mean, there's like a dime a dozen. You can find them all over the place. But the ratio is probably about 1 to 1. I mean, I'm putting about the same amount of glitter on here as I have gel already on there. So I wanted a pretty good amount of that glitter on each nail. It's so fine and it's almost sheer. You're not going to see it very well, but I wanted a decent amount of it on. I mean, it's so pretty. I love a white iridescent. Y'all know that. And this is a really pretty one. It's just all the colors of the rainbow, and yeah, it just adds that extra little razzle dazzle, I guess you would say. But yeah, once I get it mixed, what I feel like is, very well, evenly mixed, I get it into a little line there, and I'm going to get a tiny bit on each nail. And I have switched brushes. I do not use my LGN Pro brush with glitter. And you'll see why here. And yeah, see how that brush is it's kind of making it act weird. That's one of the reasons why I don't like using my good gel brush for glitter. It gets in between the bristles and it's hard to get back out and it makes them act weird. So yeah, I mean, other than that, this is a good gel brush. It's a cheaper one I got off of Amazon. It was only, I don't know, $2 or $3. So yeah, if something happens to it, I'm not that concerned about it. But so yeah, I'm getting a decent amount of glitter on each nail, and boy, if I didn't mix up the exact right amount that I needed, that never happens. I always over mix and put too much out on my palette, but it worked out this time. And then here, all I'm doing is kind of just fading that glitter off. This is the easiest blend you'll ever do. Something like a fine glitter in a clear background. There's nothing easier to blend, in my opinion. It just almost naturally blends itself. But I'm just breaking up that edge, and once I get it to where I'm satisfied with it, then cure, and then it is, I think, encapsulation time. So everything is cured now. I have already encapsulated my pinky and my ring finger. And I think I just leave one of these nails in here. I mean, it's just encapsulating with clear. I've done this a million times on my channel. It's nothing exciting or fancy or any special technique. So yeah, I'm just leaving one of them in here. All I'm going to do is get a slip layer on my nail. Go back in. Don't cure that layer. Go back in for another scoop of gel. Get it on, use my fine detailer brush to work the gel into the shape I want. Turn it upside down a few times to help pull it into the center of my nail, make a good apex and a good shape. Then when I'm satisfied with it, it gets a good full cure, and we're moving on after that. Alrighty, everything is encapsulated. I'm done with the hard gel, so I'm going to give them a good wipe, a good file, another wipe to get all the dust off, and that's where we are now. And the shape isn't perfect, but they are nice and thin. This is what they look like from the ends. I wasn't as worried about the shape on these because half the nail is getting covered up with these flowers, so that's why I wasn't as picky on my shape as I usually am. But so I've already made these flowers in advance, and sorry about the focus. I tell my camera to focus on the hand I want it to, and then sometimes it just goes crazy. So this is the mold I'm going to use. I'm going to need like a scraper. This is a one I used to have from my nail stamping days. And since I've already got most of the flowers made, I'm going to show you how to do the ones that are half blue, half mint, and then the small mint ones. So I'm going to get this gel polish out onto my palette, the colors I'm going to use. I did forget to mention earlier, these gel polishes, they're very pigmented, but they're also very thick. Even if you try and use them super thin, they're still pretty thick. So just be aware of that. If you're going to get any of these, they're great gel polishes, but yeah, they're pretty thick. So just, buyer beware. Just so you know. Okay, so I've got those colors out, and I promise you the focus does calm down here in just a minute. Just stick with me. So you're going to want, for these little molds like this, you're going to want the tiniest, finest brush you own. And this is what that brush is for me. It's the tiniest brush I own. So I'm putting this white paper behind so y'all can see better. I don't know how well it's showing up on video. It definitely helped me see better. So, okay, so I've zoomed way in. So, to do the tiny flowers, that's what I'm going to do first here. I'm just going to do a couple of them in mint because I've already got plenty. I'm just doing these so y'all can see how I did them. So, just get a very small amount of gel polish on your brush, work it down into that mold, make sure you are getting it all the way to the bottom and all the edges and all the curves and the dips and everything. You get it all the way to the bottom of the mold. And you don't really want to fill it all the way. You just want to coat the inside of the mold, make sure everything inside is coated, but I wouldn't fill it all the way because you may have curing issues, especially with gel polishes that have this amount of pigment to them. I feel like, yeah, you would definitely have curing issues. So, yeah, this is my technique. So I make sure and get it all worked in that shape. Yes, I went outside the lines a little bit, but it's fine. Turn your mold over and make sure they look right from the other side. And then I am going to lay it down on a flat surface. Don't try and do this in your hand. And kind of scrape over it gently. You don't want to do it in your hand, and you don't want to put a lot of pressure on it because, I mean, it's silicone. It will move around if you put too much pressure on it or if it's not on a flat surface, and you'll dig half of that color out that you just applied. So, yeah, so I gave it a cure, turned it over, cured the other side, and now I'm going to kind of finish these off with top coat. So I'm going to get a decent amount of that out onto my palette because I'm going to need it I'm going to be making a couple of the medium-sized flowers and one of the big ones. So I'm going to need more top coat later. And the one I'm using is just one from Valentino. It's a crap top coat. I would not recommend it at all. I'm going to get a little bit of it into each of these, the back of these flowers. You don't want it mounded up. You don't want to see it rounded up over the top of the mold because then it's going to sit weird on your nail. Just a tiny bit. Just kind of coat the inside of the flower. And you can always pull it back out if you feel like you've gotten too much, which is what I'm doing there. But yeah, that top coat is crap, y'all. Don't get it. It does not take chrome. It does not hold a shine. It scratches up and dulls easily. I don't like it. But I bought 2 bottles of it, so I'm going to use it. And stuff like this, it comes in very handy. So, to demold your flowers, you're kind of like bend the mold until the, whatever you've made, in this case flowers, kind of start to poke up out of there. And then gently grab them with some tweezers and pull them out. You don't want to be digging around in that mold to pull them out. You will damage your mold very easily. It's just silicone. It will split, it will break, you will tear it. Just be gentle. Okay, so for the largest size flower, I'm going to make 1 large one and 2 of the medium-sized ones, and they are all going to be ombre down the middle, just like my nails, to match. So I'm going to do 2.5 petals, excuse me, 2.5 petals of each color. And in this case, it's half mint and half blue. So I'm getting those petals filled in. This one I'm only going to do half of it. And then when I've got enough of that color in, I'm going to do the same thing with my blue. And make sure I'm coating all the, like I said before, all the edges, all the curves, all the bits down in there. And here in a second, you'll see why I'm saying this. You want to move your mold around as you're filling it because you will miss spots, especially on bigger things like this. The tiny ones are pretty easy to fill, but these bigger ones, it's easy to miss spots. And here in just a second, I'm going to turn it around and you'll get a good view. And see, right there. It looked like it was pretty much filled, and half of that one petal is missing, and the other one, the edge of it was completely not filled in. And so, yeah, make sure you're turning them around. Now that I've got that filled in, I'm going to mix the colors to create my blend. Doesn't have to be a perfect blend, but I don't want it to be a harsh line down the middle. And so I'm going to zoom in and freeze. And this is what you want to see. You don't want to see any air bubbles. You don't want to see any missing pockets of color, any voids. turn them over and look. So now I'm scraping that off a little more, and I'm gonna look at it again. And I've got this little tool out, this little tiny silicone tool, just to pull off any extra that is in between the petals that the scraper didn't get. The bigger flowers, you're definitely going to see if you go outside the lines. The smaller ones you will too, but the bigger ones you're going to see even more. So, and I felt like I missed a little bit there, so I'm going to add a little more. I'm going to do the same thing with the two medium-sized flowers. Just, a little bit smaller scale. And then when I'm happy with those, I will cure them, flip them over, cure them again, and then go over them with the top coat like I did on the smaller ones. And I'll be back when it's time to pull them out.
Everything was black and white, now it's so different. Now it seems so right. Before I met you, everything was black and white, but it's so different. Now it seems so bright. You bring the color to my life. You bring the color. You bring the color to my life. You bring the color. Love is a rainbow. Rainbow is a smile of sky. Love is a rainbow. Your love makes me feel so fine. Love, love, you bring the color to my life. Love. Shine. Oh, let the love shine. Let the love shine. Let the love, let the love. Let the love, you bring the color to my life. Let the love, you bring the color. Let the love, you bring the color to my life. Let the love, you bring the color. Let the love shine.
Okay, so they're cured, and now it's time to pull them out. I bend my mold, and it didn't want to come out right there, so I moved to another part of it and kind of gently lifted it out of there. You don't want to force them out. They may break. Like I said before, you may mess up your mold. Just be gentle with these things. They will come out if they're cured. Just take your time and have some patience. So, now that they're all cured, I'm going to use my LGN Pro Bling It Gel, I think it's called. I've already done my thumb, and this is the look I'm going for. I made those big flowers for every nail, but I decided to only use them on my thumb and my middle nail. I didn't feel like they would fit on my other nails, so I decided not to use them except on these two nails. So, the way I'm putting these on, I am coating my whole nail in this Bling It Gel. I'm not going to need it over the whole nail, but I also don't want a line in my final nail where this stops and starts, so I just figured I'd pull it down over the entire nail just to make sure, line of light and all that good stuff. And I'm starting to get along better with this stuff. It's still really thick, but I'm definitely getting along better with it. I think maybe there's just a learning curve with this stuff. And I'm going to put a little extra kind of drop here because that's where that bigger flower is going to go. And I learned on my thumb that you definitely need extra. So, now that I've got that on there, I'm going to start placing my flowers. So, biggest one first. And I am placing them so they match the ombre on the end of my finger. Like the purple side of the flower goes on the same side of the nail that's purple, and the pink goes on the pink side. This one here, I'm going to put it on backwards accidentally, and you'll see what I mean. Why? So, yeah. So, now I'm going to spin that around, but yeah, I think they definitely look better going with the ombre of the nail. I took all that time to ombre these tiny little flowers so they would match the nail. So, yeah, I'm going to make sure that I'm placing them the way I want them. So, after messing with this for a minute, I can see that the petals are sticking out, and they're going to be catching on everything and possibly break or rip that part off my nail or whatever. So, I'm going to get some more of this rhinestone gel up under there and solve that problem while I can still get to it, because I'm getting ready to put a bunch of other stuff around it, and if I don't do it now, I'm not going to be able to here in a minute, because I'm getting ready to put the smaller flowers on and rhinestones, and so yeah, that's why I'm doing it now, and kind of in between the petals, and just kind of build it up a little bit. Nothing major, but enough to keep that from catching on everything under the sun. So, and now I'm going to adjust it a little more. And here in just a second, I promise it's coming. I'm going to get some of my little flowers on. So each nail is getting 3 on each side. So this nail will get 3 pink ones on this side, 3 purple ones on the other side. Then I'm going to fill in between with rhinestones, and then a larger rhinestone at the end, the top, the bottom of the design. I never know which way. Above the smaller flower, the medium-sized one, gets a larger rhinestone and then a caviar bead. And once I am completely satisfied with my placement, it looks centered and as symmetrical as I can get it, then I will cure. Alright, so middle nail is done. That's the last one I'm going to use one of the biggest flowers on. The other 3 nails are going to be identical to this one. They're going to get 2 of the medium-sized flowers, and the rest will be the tiny ones. So, same thing with this one. Bling It gel on the whole nail. Am I saying that right? Is that the name of it? Hang on, I'm looking for it here. Bling It No Wipe Rhinestone Gel. Yes, Bling It Gel. So, anyway, making sure this whole nail is covered, and then more of the same. 2 of the medium-sized flowers, the small ones, rhinestones, caviar bead at the end, and then next step. Okay, so I still have more rhinestones to go. Each of the medium and large flowers get a rhinestone in the middle of them, and the tiniest flowers get a caviar bead in the middle. So I'm going to put enough of this Bling It gel in each flower to hold those things. So that's what I'm doing here. I don't know. I mean, I feel like I'm running out of things to say. I've talked a lot during this video. I do want to let you all know I have placed an order with AliExpress. Again, things are already starting to come in, so hopefully I will have an AliExpress haul for you soon. I got some dual forms that one of you specifically asked me to get. So we'll be looking at those. It'll probably be a separate video to try those out. But yeah, I did get some of those newer kinds of dual forms, and I'm excited to play around with them, plus some other stuff. So yeah, hopefully that'll be coming up soon. And then I'm still waiting on my 77 nails decals. I don't know why they're taking so long to come in. Usually all the ones I've ever ordered in the past have been here within a week. Usually, 4 or 5 days. They come from Florida. That's where she lives. It's not like they're coming from out of the country. I don't know what's going on. So for those of y'all who saw my post about how they were like $1 each if you got 5 of them, if you're still waiting on yours too, I apologize. I didn't realize that the shipping would take this long. Normally, it does not. So those have been finally shipped. I finally got an email. They've finally been shipped. So hopefully they will be here in time for that video too. Surely to goodness those will get here before the AliExpress stuff does, because I ordered them like a good a week or 2 apart. So yeah, that's what the final nails gonna look like. I did that to every single nail with the rhinestones and the caviar beads. And now I am getting a little of my top coat out because I need to go over all my caviar beads. Just a tiny little bit of top coat on each caviar, just the caviar beads, not the rhinestones. Just so they don't turn weird colors. Excuse me. So they don't turn weird colors on me. So they stay nice and pretty. and silver and, look like I want them to look. So yeah, I'm going to get every caviar bead on each nail with a tiny bit of top coat on. And I promise I don't stay with this long. I think this is the last finger I show this on. And once I get them all covered, I'm going to I gave them just a little flash cure because I still have another cure to go. Now I'm going to top coat. Now that blanket gel is no wipe. So you could just leave them like this, but I'm not going to. I'm going to use my LGN Pro Shiny Top Coat because I know I say this all the time, y'all, but this is the best top coat I have ever used. It's not overly thick. It will take chrome. It wears so well. It stays shiny. It's like scratch resistant. It's hard wearing. I cannot say enough good stuff about this top coat. I almost, sound like I'm being paid to say these things, but I promise I'm not. I wish I was. But I'm not. It's just good stuff. If you have used it yourself, I'm sure you know. But see the nails on my other hand? Those are about 3 weeks old at this point, and they're still so shiny. And that's from that top coat. So yeah, if you're thinking about trying this stuff, definitely try it. It's awesome. I love this stuff. It's my absolute favorite. So anyway, I'm top coating just the ends of the nails. I'm not going in between or anything. It's got that blanket gel on there, so it doesn't need any extra protection. Just the ends of the nails where you can see. I want them to be nice and as shiny as possible, especially with that glitter underneath. What I'm doing here is I'm scraping the rest of the top coat off of my brush here, and I'm going to go back over all of them, especially swiping down the sides like I always do, and just pull off any excess top coat. And once my brush starts to get, a little too full of it, I'm going to scrape it on the edge of the top coat bottle and just go, from nail to nail and do the same thing. And that way I don't have any drips or like bulbous looking ends. And then give them a cure. And that's them done. Ooh, I love them. I think this set turned out even better than the first set. Like, there's more of the color. There's less of the nude. I didn't do that on purpose, but I'm glad I did. Were they a pain in the ass and took forever? Yes. Were they also so worth it? Also, yes. So, yeah. I know it's been a long one, y'all. Thanks for sticking around. I appreciate it. Let me know what you think. I'm so in love. I'm so glad I redid these. I was just looking for a reason. Seriously. So yeah, y'all let me know what you think. I think they're so pretty. I like the color order better this time too. So yeah, before you leave, like, subscribe, comment, hype, all that good stuff. Thanks for sticking around. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.